Tupperware, and I am back. I'm back to do another video with you. I know it's been a while, but life happens, things happen, and you just have to roll with it. But today we're here and we're doing a video, and today we are going to work with the Tupperware Pressure Cooker. I love this thing for soups and everything else, so this is what we're working with today, and we're doing an African stew. I personally like to try all nationalities of food. So I'm like, African stew, I'm going to try this. So this is going to be my very first time to try it, but I'm trying it with you. So let me turn this camera down and we will talk about the pressure cooker and how it works. So stay right there. And there we go. Alrighty, so we are going to get started today and let you see how to use the pressure cooker, what the pressure cooker does, everything about it. So the pressure cooker is meant to be cooked in the microwave with, not on your stovetop. Do not put this on your stovetop. It will melt. It will void your warranty and you will not be able to get anything back on it. But some features about the pressure cooker: it's a pressure cooker that you use in the microwave. Most everything cooks in about 30 minutes. If it's a little bit tougher meat, if you're using a meat, a little bit cheaper meat and trying to tenderize it, you may have to pressure it down at the end of 30 minutes and then come back and do a little bit more. That's understandable. But other than that, everything's done anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. And we are cooking everything from the raw state today. All the chicken, all the sweet potato, everything. So about the Tupperware pressure cooker, on the top here is a lid lock. This piece right here does not need to be used for a handle. It pulls off. It locks the lid closed over here. It is not a handle. You do not pick it up by this, because if you do, it could pop off and that would be bad for your foot. Trust me, it hurts. It's not a handle. Also, what I love to call the minion. Right there's the little minion's head. When this is in the microwave cooking, this is going to work just like any other pressure cooker. It's going to come up. His little head's going to come up here, and then the steam's going to come out around this. And then you have a steam valve over here. And then when you open it up, you will see the little minion's feet. Now, I know my pressure cooker is well used. I've used this thing for years since it's come out. And so you can tell. But underneath here is the little minion's feet, or his legs. Make sure that when you use your pressure cooker in the microwave, that his legs are always on the inside of the lid. If you do not, it will not pressure right, and it could mess up your microwave. Just saying. A lot of people have done that. So be sure that his little legs are inside here, because you can take this out and wash it. When he's cooking, you see how it goes up and down right there? Right there is where his head will be. You do not open the pressure cooker until his little head is back down. So always remember, the little minion's head has to be flat up against there and not up releasing steam. Inside you'll see a gasket, and this gasket is made to seal the lid just like a regular pressure cooker. But if something were not to pressurize right, or something in your pressure cooker, this is made to come loose and fall off down inside here, and then steam comes out everywhere and it pressures down. On the top, you'll see these arrows here, an arrow here. On your pressure cooker, there's an arrow on this handle and an arrow on this handle. You line those handles up with the little arrows, then you twist your lid locked. And then you put the lid lock back on, put this down right through there, and it locks the lid. On the inside of the pressure cooker is a minimum line and a max line. when you're cooking, you want to make sure that you have enough liquid on whatever you're cooking, so that way it doesn't dry out. There's a maximum line here. The maximum line is for when, that's the maximum that it needs to be as liquid and food and everything that you're putting in it, because it has to have that headspace right here. That's a couple of inches in order for it to build up the steam. So that way it's actually cooking with the steam. There's a minimum line down here, so if you're just cooking, oh, something small or something, you don't have to put your liquid all the way to the max line. You can just do enough to cover whatever it is you're cooking in there. Some people think, oh, they have to fill it up to the max line. That's not so. Just as long as whatever you're cooking has enough water or chicken broth or chicken stock or sauce, whatever you're cooking with, is to cover that top, and then it's good to go. So that is about the Tupperware pressure cooker, and that's what we're going to use today. So I'm going to set the lid over here while we work on this recipe, and I will have the recipe down in the description below, so that way you can go down there and copy and paste it and put it in a file for your own use for later on. But like I said, this is called the African stew. It calls for 4 small chicken breasts cut up into 1-inch slices, salt and pepper to taste, a pound of sweet potatoes. This, my friends, is 1 sweet potato. That's all it took. 1 pound sweet potato. So if you're, I know things are expensive today, so if you're trying to cut back on groceries, and if you're like me, you really like to work with a menu, because that allows you to do your grocery bill, see what you actually need, and then just buy those things. If you're buying a little extra, by all means do that. But if you're really watching your money and what you can get at the grocery store, so a lot of places have a scale. You could weigh the sweet potato or whatever it is, and then just buy accordingly. So that is 1 sweet potato, which weighs 1 pound. And then we have 2 cloves of garlic. Let's see, we've got garlic in here. We've got fresh ginger. This recipe calls for a hot chili pepper. I do not like hot chili peppers. I like them, but they're too hot for me. If you can stand the heat, by all means put that in there. I just have 1 jalapeno that I cut in half, took the seeds out of, and put in here. And then we have the 2 cloves of garlic in there. Then it calls for a little bit of cilantro for on top when it's done. It calls for some peanut butter, some chopped peanuts, and then a can of diced tomatoes. So that's all this recipe really calls for. And then you can serve this over noodles or rice or brown rice. I'm just doing white rice today. But that's all it calls for. So before we get started, I need to cut up my chicken. Now you can use chicken thighs, you can use chicken breast, whatever you have. Whatever's on sale, get that, use that. It doesn't have to be exact. These are just some chicken tenders that they had at the store. So and this is a little bit over almost 2 pounds, and I'm not going to use quite as much, but I'm going to get my knife here, and you can see what the chicken strips look like. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit more, and then it says strips, but I'm going to cut it into just 3 chunks like that, and then put this in here. So we're going to get some more out here, and we are just going to do, some of them are almost as big as a chicken breast itself. So I think like that would be a chicken breast, that piece and this piece would be a whole chicken breast, and then I think I'm going to use that right there. Maybe not quite so much chicken. So we're going to continue to cut this down. They're kind of big, so I'm going to, like I said, just cut it into thirds You can cut it into bite-sized pieces if you want to. Like this one is really thick, so I think I'm going to cut that down a little bit more. And we're just going to add these to the bottom of the pressure cooker. I think I'm going to cut them down in a little bit smaller pieces, like I said, because these are some thick chicken tenders. That one didn't get cut very well. We'll just put that in here and that in here. And we're just going to place these on the bottom. And then we're going to put this. So like I said, if you want to do chicken thighs, that by all means use what you have. If it's chicken wings, use those. Nothing wrong with them. So let me put this aside and wash off my hands. I have hot soapy water over there for all who's wondering. Some people say, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Yeah, I got water right there, all ready to go. So there is our chicken tenders cut up into chunks right here. To that, we are just going to take and just dump these sweet potatoes right on top. We've got that. And from there, we're going to take this little bowl, open up our canned diced tomatoes. Now, if you're trying to make this less salt, which I cook with a lot less salt than normal, I just use all unsalted stuff. I have natural peanut butter, the kind you have to stir in. And, you know, I just cut salt back every which way I can. So we're going to take our chopper here. Now, I'm going to have to tell you, they renamed this to the supersonic chopper. And it's still the Power Chef, but they just renamed it on the website this spring. Why, I don't know, but that's what it's now called. But I love this thing. I've got the blade on in here. I'm going to use the blade, and I'm going to take these onions. I'm going to chop these in half just a little bit more. Put those in here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this jalapeno in there. And I am going to, I think I'm just going to crush my garlic and add to it. Now this is the new garlic press that they have. It just came out this past catalog back in the winter. It's a little bit different from the older one. It was more rounded. It still works great, but I'm putting it in here. I'm pressing this down to break that skin. And we are going to peel this skin off. Now if you're like me, I am a huge, when I say huge, I mean huge, garlic person. The more garlic, the better for me. But I'm going according to the recipe today. But I'm using some big garlics too. We're going to take the skin off of this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I like it more spread out in my stuff. Now, a lot of times I'll chop it, but a lot of times I will press the garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the tomato. Instead of just chopping it. And like I said, I am a huge garlic person. Now I tell everybody, make the recipes your own. Do what you like. This one just don't want to go. There we go. It was a tough garlic. Make the recipes your own. If you know there's something you don't like, something you don't care for, by all means, you know, leave it out. If you want extra, put it in. Make it your own so that way you like the recipe and you make it according to your family. Now it calls for a tablespoon of fresh grated ginger. Now, I've just got a little piece of ginger here that I peeled earlier, and a piece of parchment paper, and we are going to grate this. I love, love, love the smell of grated ginger. Oh my God, it's just amazing. Fresh ginger. And we need a tablespoon of this. Now, if you don't like that much ginger, don't put it in there. If you don't have fresh ginger, then simply use powdered ginger. You know, you do what you can with what you have. I always tell everybody that, you know, improvise if you need to. Don't try to run out and buy every little thing, you know, there. You work with what you got. You have to save money nowadays. So we need a tablespoon of the ginger. We'll see how much this is. Look at that. Perfect. We're going to put that right in there. And then put this over to the side. Put this in the sink and move this. So from here we're going to take and chop all of our stuff, our onion and jalapeno up right here. You can chop this as fine as you like or as big as you like. Just depends on the amount of pulls. So I'm going to pull this string here and we're going to begin to chop this down. I don't want little fine pieces everywhere. But I don't want big pieces. So right there is perfect. It's chopped. It's ready to go. If you want more pepper in here, by all means use more pepper. And I'm going to show you this right here. And that's all it takes. And we're going to take and put this in, mix it into the tomatoes. Woo, those onions are strong, and so is that pepper. Woo. So I hope everyone's doing well. We all made it through the pandemic. A lot of my family got it, but you know, we're doing good and we thank God for that. So I hope all of you are doing good as well. So we're going to stir this together, and those onions are strong. Whoa. And I think I'm going to have to add just a little liquid to this to make sure these sweet potatoes and stuff are covered. So let's take that and pour it over this right here. Then I'm not going to put much broth in here, or I should say I'm just going to use water. I'm not going to use a lot. That's just up to the stuff, so that was maybe a cup of water. And I'm just going to make sure that the sweet potatoes are down below the stuff here. Then we're going to take some pepper. Put that in here. And sprinkle on a little salt. Like I said, I've been watching my salt, so I may not salt this to what everybody thinks it needs to be salted. So you salt it to however you like. Now the peanut butter and the coriander that goes in here, we will put that in after this is cooked. So that way you get the nice fresh coriander taste, and I absolutely love coriander. And I'm just pushing this around to get some of that salt and stuff down in there and that pepper. So there is the stew part in here, and I know you can see that liquid kind of moving around. But like I said, it's just up there enough. It's got enough moisture from the tomatoes that everything in here will be fine. It doesn't have to be running over with broth. This is probably going to feed a good 4 people when it cooks down. But we're going to put the lid on right here. We're going to match up that arrow and this arrow. We're going to twist, and then we're going to put this back on, and we're going to lock this lid. Now all we have to cook this for is anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to go 25 minutes because sweet potatoes are a little bit harder than regular potatoes. And then this way I know that the sweet potatoes are completely done and tender. After 25 minutes, I'll show you what it looks like with the little minion's head up. And then after that, I'll come back and we'll open this up and then finish up the recipe. So stay right here. We will be right back. Okay, the microwave just stopped. I cooked it for 25 minutes. And I don't know, maybe you can see the steam coming out. You see? The little minion's head is up. There is steam coming out over here as well. So we're going to let this set for 10 minutes. And we're not going to run any water or anything over it. You don't have to do it like the old pressure cookers, because this just naturally releases the steam, and it normally takes about 10 minutes. So when the steam is down, I will come back and show you, and then we'll take the lid off and we'll check everything in there and see how it done. So stay right here. So it's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to pick this up, and you can see, I'm going to turn this around here. The little minion's head is down. I'm able to touch it. There's no steam coming out. So you can see his head is back down. And there's no steam coming out over here. So now it's safe to go ahead and open your pressure cooker. So we're going to turn this around. We're going to unlock the lid. And we're going to take this off so we don't accidentally try to pick it up. And then we're going to twist the lid open. Please always remember, open this away from your face, because it is some steam coming out of there. You do not want to get burned with this. So before I stir it, this is what it looks like. You can see the broth is still there. And then I'm going to take my spatula and stir this around. And we are going to check the sweet potatoes. I'm just going to get one right here, and they are completely tender. So the chicken is completely cooked. So to this, we have a few other things to add to it. So let me set this over here. To this recipe, it calls for a teaspoon of ground coriander. And right here's my coriander. I'm going to get a teaspoon of coriander, sprinkle this over that. If you like coriander like I do, you might want to add a little bit more. You know, that's all up to you. I just love coriander. We're going to put that in there. Kind of freshens up that flavor. Then it calls for 1/3 cup of peanut butter. So I need to, and I know I'm using my fork, the handle. I need to stir this around just a little bit more. I had started earlier, but it's had time to settle. If you're not using the stir-in peanut butter, you know, you just take it out of there. But I just needed to kind of re-stir it. Make sure we'll put that in the sink. And then we need 1/3 cup of peanut butter. And I'm going to use a tablespoon here. And just fill this up with some peanut butter. I think I'm almost went over. Set that aside. Pour this in around it. Put this to the side. And then we're going to bring this back over here. Take this spatula and stir it in while it's hot. This smells really, really good. Okay, I think that is in there. We'll set that to the side. And for the toppings, we need some peanuts. Now, I showed you it's now called the supersonic chopper. If you get the complete set there, it comes with this one here, a funnel, and a paddle that goes in it as well. And then it comes with the small one. And you only get one top. But this is the engine. And it comes off just like this, and that fits your smaller one right here. So this one engine works both of these. So we're going to put in like 1/4 cup of salted peanuts and chop those up a little bit. I thought I had unsalted peanuts, but I'll just go lightly on mine. And we're going to put this top on. Get it to, if I set it on there straight. And we're just going to give it some pulls. Kind of stir it around to get those other peanuts chopped up. And that's about it there. It's chopped them down good enough for now. Just for a garnish. Then we need a little bit of cilantro. I'm going to do the cilantro with a knife because it's not going to call for much other than for garnish right here. Now, this is my old school Fridge Smart. I still use them. Still love them. They're still good to use. It's just that I use so many in and out of my refrigerator that I use those too. So let me get my knife and just bunch those up and give them a little bit of chop. Now we could have done this in the chopper, but I'm not doing that much. That's all I want to chop it right there. Now for the rest, how you serve this up, you can use brown rice, you can use white rice if you want to use noodles. I'm sure you could do that, but we're just going to use some rice here. I already cooked the rice earlier. And we're going to put some of this in the bowl. And then I'm going to get this here and get some of this out of my way. And we're going to take and spoon a little bit over this. It smells so good. And then I'm going to take another little ladle and I'm going to put some of the broth on there. And then you just take and top it with some chopped nuts, however many you like. Give it some crunch and then top it with some cilantro. And there it is. African stew. Served over rice. Super easy to do in the pressure cooker. Great to use for those weeknight meals when you're in a hurry and you have other things to do, because we all do. So let me put this camera back up here. Take some of these out for the moment. And we will talk just a moment. I'll make sure I'm up in the video here. Woo! There we go. So we have done a really quick meal that was done, well, with prep time. Maybe 30 minutes is all it took to do the whole thing. So this is enough to feed at least 4 people. And it's very minimal products that you have to put in there. Like I said, I love to use stuff from other countries, try out recipes. If you do too, then try this one. If you like to use other recipes from other countries, comment below and let me know what types of places you like to cook their food. So this is the African stew. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Be sure, and if you liked the recipe and liked how I did today, give me a thumbs up on my video, subscribe to my channel, hit the ring bell so you get all the notifications of when I upload another video. If you have questions about any of the products of Tupperware, because we used the, I call it the Power Chef. We used Fastables today. We used the garlic press today. We used a lot of different things, and if there's something that you've seen and you want to know more about, be sure and get with me, and I'll be glad to help you on any information or anything that you need. You can visit my website at Patty Dooley. I'll get it out, and then jump over there and look. I also have a Facebook page, a business page, where you can go and check out all the sales that we have going. Flash sales. I think I'm fixing to upload another sale that started yesterday, but I'm a little late. But if you like all this, like I said, give me a thumbs up. That sure will help my channel. And if you have questions, please comment or get with me, and I'll be happy to help you. So you have a blessed day, and be sure to come back next time. I think I'm going to do a video on what products to use to cook what. A lot of people ask me questions about that. Well, can I cook this and this, or how do I cook, that? And so I think I'm just going to sit down with just the cooking products, just the cooking ones, and then go over how and what you can do in each one and the best way to utilize that product. So you have a blessed day, and I will see you soon. Bye.